Yeah.
Crazy
Wild.
thing. Yeah. But
Yeah.
so here's my thoughts
Yeah.
on college. So
Mhm.
um, the return on the investment of college is, depending upon for the majority, I would say, um, it's not great. It's why do you go to college? You go to college, in my opinion, to network,
Yes.
and to learn, about whatever it is you're gonna, learn how to learn how to be dependable, that type of thing. My opinion is you don't have to go into $100,000 worth of debt to network and to learn how to be a responsible person that could have a career and be an employee or employer. I'm not against education. I'm very much, like that's ridiculous. How can you say I'm against education? I think the college system has become a scam. And I see a lot of myself in you. Like, I don't think I needed to go to college to do what I do today. And,
Yeah.
so anyway, and you're young enough where if you find something that you want to learn more about, you can go to college
Mhm.
anytime. So I think you're doing,
Exactly.
yeah, I think you're doing,
And I'm
but keep the networking aspect in mind. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, like I find it so interesting that I talk to some coworkers even at the corporate office I work with, and they just graduated college with marketing degrees and the full piece of paper that allows you, that's supposed to be your entry into the corporate world. She was so excited to basically get like this job at this marketing firm, which is definitely a starting job, but you work your way up and things
Mm-hmm.
like this. She was so excited, which I mean, I'm thrilled for her too. Like it's awesome to get a job right after college. But the university itself is filming her like, hey, she got a job right out of this university, etc. And I talked to her more about it, and she says, I have like around like 50 to 100 friends who have all applied for jobs, and they've barely gotten any responses for the past 2 years. I'm like one of the only people in my entire friend group or my entire college circle that's been able to get a job like this. And for me, that just completely just shocked me because I started to see the value in, actually pursuing real life experiences in the workforce rather than college, because I was able to go into this office and give some of my testimonials and some of my life work experience, and they perceive that as more valuable than the degree. And that was like firsthand experience for me, being like, man, I really don't need this if I'm able to figure out how to network with these people online or in person in other ways. So
I mean, years ago,
really.
people would do apprenticeships. They would have mentors. Um, one of the things that, the way I grew up and the way you grew up too, probably. But the idea of like plumbers, electricians, welders, these guys are and people are in such demand right now. We were brought up to go to college, become a lawyer, become a doctor, like there was a certain path that we're supposed to go on. And that path is it doesn't it like you said, I mean, your friends, probably did well in college. They probably have
Yeah.
debt, most of them, from college, and they can't even get a job. I mean,
Yeah.
what
And how do
was
you pay off that? Yeah, like, and also the question I kind of like to ask myself now, especially now that we're in the year 2024, it's how does AI affect all of this? How does AI affect the workplace, and different things like that? And yeah, sure, we might have a crappy chat GPT that we have access to right now, but the difference is going to come in the next few years when these AI systems that are really good, like surpass human intelligence, start to come out and be
absolutely.
available for public use. How do companies change their hiring? How does education be perceived as valuable? And college is a lot of memorization, and I feel like AI is going to have a shift in that. So I feel like we're going to see a big shift in a lot of this stuff. We're kind of already seeing the initial phases of it now, just how tough the job market is right now and things of that nature. But when AI gets involved, I mean, who knows where this can all go?
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
just
I mean,
trying to.
I really thought that this was going to happen 20 years ago. I mean, I've been talking about how that how college the model was not sustainable for
Yeah,
forever, and I can't believe it's gone on as long as it has. And like, again, I'm dating myself. So, but like Howard Stern, do you know who Howard Stern is?
yeah, of course.
Okay,
My dad loves
yeah, you never know these days. Um,
it.
so he used to be on the radio when he made the jump to Sirius satellite radio. That legitimized Sirius satellite radio, right? Like Elon Musk has come out and said, I don't care what these people go to college. I have my own tests that I give them,
Mhm.
And so we
Yeah.
need people like Microsoft, Google, other reputable institutions that say, we don't care if you went to Stanford. We have our own, like, we don't care. So when that
Mhm.
happens, the value of a piece of paper from those institutions goes down. And again, it's just taking longer than I thought. I mean, now I'm glad that the conversation is happening, and I think you're a maverick, really. I think you are. I think many more people, especially if you become ultra successful,
Mhm.
people are going to be like, "Fuck college," it's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice too because I see it right now. I hop on a lot of sales calls. Like I probably was on 6 or 7 this week alone, like just this week, Monday through Thursday. But I talk to a lot of different, entrepreneurs and founders. It's the people who I work with, and they don't ask me about a degree. They ask me how old I am, and they're extremely impressed. And it's almost like a benefit too. I like to show my real life experience and they perceive that as way more valuable than the degree. So yeah, I guess the system is definitely a little bit outdated. I still see value in it though for a lot of different
Of
majors,
course,
but I think the difference mainly comes when you're doing something just really broad, like in the business field, and you're going to go and get yourself in debt for a broad degree, which you might never use. So,
I think the
um,
duration maybe should be 2 years instead of 4 years. It just delays everything,
mhm,
and
exactly.
I just I it's an excuse to still be a kid, which is fine, but like it's an excuse to, I was one of the lucky ones. Like I almost think kids should be forced to also work and go to college because my parents paid for my education, so I didn't take it as seriously
Mhm.
as someone who has actual skin in the game. Like I just, like, and I was one of the lucky ones. But when you are tasked to pay for something, you also take it more seriously. Like I remember I had friends who were waiters and waitresses during college, and I was always like amazed, and they took college more serious than all of us who were just partying. And I joined a fraternity. I mean, it was great. Look, and I've done business with people from college. It was a great experience. It was a good networking thing. But I'm just saying you could do that in other ways. For me,
Yeah,
so in our world, everyone goes to sleepaway camp, right? I'm from Long
yeah.
Island. Okay.
Same.
Um, so, but I didn't send my kids to sleepaway camp. I live, you know where I live. I mean, I know you haven't been here in a while, but it's a special place. I live in a lake, it's a community. There's a beach, there's a camp. These kids have the greatest summers and independence. And like, but my family are like, I can't believe you're not sending your kid to sleepaway camp. And I'm like, what, what did your kid like? It was just great. I'm not saying it wasn't great, but like, there are other ways to have great experiences, not just what we've been programmed. Okay, you have kids, of course they have to go to camp. It doesn't have to be, of course. And it doesn't have to be, of course, that you're going to a university if you're a success. First of all, think about all the successful entrepreneurs who dropped out of college.
Yeah.
Harvard, for example. Whether it's Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, the woman I was talking about earlier, she Livy Wong.
Yeah.
That's So anyway, I,
Wow.
I just I think you're on the right path, and I wouldn't say that actually if I didn't. I mean, you have it together in a lot of ways. You're well beyond your years. What you need to be careful about is you
Yeah.
are young still, and you will be for a while. Okay, and
Mhm.
just don't forget that.